Welcome back to another episode of Charge Collective, the number one ranked podcast in the world from both my mum and my nan. But this is the podcast that is here to help you become a better version of yourself. I jump on here, we got two podcasts that we release every week. The Tuesday episode is just a quick little debrief, something that I sort of might think of during the week or the weekend where it just pops up and I'm like, I really want to share that with people. And then we've got our Friday podcast that I do with Jimmy Aslar. We jump on here, we have a bit of a chat. And we just try and talk about different stuff that's going on in our life and just try and give you a bit more of an in-depth sort of episode as well. So that goes for about 45 minutes. But today's episode and what I've been thinking about over the weekend is building your dream life. And it's a bit funny. I think so many of us always see these superstars and we always get caught up in this perception of someone else's dream life that probably isn't actually a dream life for us. So I really wanted to touch in on that and just be like, give yourself some real examples of how you can actually live your dream life rather than trying to chase someone else's dream life. Because we all get told these celebrities and everything, they always live these, like we look at the big ones are like your social media superstars, your celebrities, your sports stars, and then your big business owners. And you might look at those people and have them on the big pedestal, but I want to break down why sometimes that probably isn't realistic for you, but it also isn't probably that dream life that you're actually chasing. So if we're going to go into that, a lot of it's just full of like smoke and mirrors, I think. So I wanted to break down some people that I sort of have been looking at and why I think they're put on this big pedestal. They're famous people, but it's probably not made for everyone and certainly not made for me either. So the first example that I actually came to mind was, and it's someone that I don't really follow at all, but this guy's name is Brian Johnson, and I've heard him pop up a few times, but his thing is anti-aging. So he takes spins his blood, does everything, doesn't get in the sun too much, does the ice baths, does the sauna, does literally everything. Has however many tablets a day, and that's his whole life. Like, and he loves it. Like, that's living his dream life for him. And for me, I look at that and I'm like, oh, I really wouldn't want to do that. So straight away, like, there's one person that someone's dream life on Instagram isn't aligned with who I want to be. And then like even someone who I know a lot of people look up to, but example is like David Goggins. You look at him and you're like, oh yeah, that's sick. I'd love to have that mindset. But could you actually imagine living in that mindset day after day where you literally have to wake up and your mind is just screaming at you, telling you to go and work out, telling you that you're a piece of shit, and it's just literally ingrained, like it just is never stopping. So I look at someone like that as well, and he loves that. But for me, I don't think that's like really realistic. And I know for a lot of people that's not realistic either. And that's one thing, like I know so many people have him on a pedestal, but they only see what he puts out, where they don't understand where his head is at the whole time as well. So I think it's really hard to try and live that life that someone else is living when you don't actually want to go into that dark place that he goes into and like lives his life in. And it's the same thing as well for him. Like that's his dream life, but it's not going to work for everyone. And then another example as well that I had was Mr. Beast. So I listened to a really interesting podcast on him. And for those of you that don't know who Mr. Beast is, he's like probably one of the world's most popular YouTubers. And he's got a great channel, looks like a very friendly, approachable guy. But one of his ones was he struggles a lot with his mental health. So a lot of his time is spent researching on YouTube and doing all these big skits that everyone would be like, oh, that's so cool. But he's openly come out and said, like, if my mental health was a priority, he goes, I wouldn't be where I was today. He's like, I really have pushed a lot of my mental health dramas away to the side. So these are just some people that I really start looking at. And I know they're living their dream life, but I know for a lot of people that really isn't a dream life. And I think we're always told by society that because someone's famous and they've got a big following that we've got to inspire to live that dream life as well. So I really want to bring this back to you guys and figure out what your dream life is for you rather than trying to chase someone else's dream. And it's all about like doing fun stuff that you're actually gonna like every day when your like head hits the pillow, you like look back and you go, wow, that was really cool and I really enjoyed myself, rather than trying to put yourself in someone else's dream that ends up being a nightmare for you. So I look at it like, what's the highlight reel for you? Like, where do you really want to see yourself fitting in around in this world? Like, what's the big highlight reel for you? you could go and do that every day. It'd bring you happiness in a way. And I look at it for me, and I've just started doing this thing, and I heard a podcast about it last week, and it was about trying to do something that you do as a child every day. And it's just crazy that once we start becoming adults, we're told that we've got to live this strict life, that everything has to be really systemized and you can't break the barriers. So then when you're living in that structure, like the happiness really struggles to creep in as well. So I'm a very structured person, and I love structure. But now I'm trying to bring in that happiness for me. Like I just bought a bike the other day where I'm going around, I'm trying to do some little bit of downhill mountain biking and jumps like that. But it just really frees me up a bit. I just go out there, I soak up the air, fresh air for about 45 minutes, go for a ride, and it's fun. And then I started looking at little things and gadgets that I used to make when I was like 8 and 10 years old. And just, I used to make this thing, and it's called a glove gun. And you cut off the bottom of a M&M packet, and then you can tape a glove to it. And now, like, I've just started thinking about that the other day. I'm like, oh, cool, I could do that and, like, shoot rocks at stuff, because I honestly, even though I'm 26 now, that is still fun for me. So it's bringing that inner child in yourself, and, like, not taking yourself too serious. But then also, like, how can you build that dream life around for yourself? And it's all about just, like, doing little bits and pieces of that every single day, because when you take yourself too serious, I think we all get caught up in that burnout factor. And that's where I've really found myself the last week. I was being pretty structured on, like, I've got to post every day, I've got to do this every day. And for me, posting every day isn't a thing that I find any joy out of. And I know a lot of people are doing stuff that they're, like, really in that hunt every single day, but it's trying to, like, figure out how can you, maybe if you want to grow your personal brand or you want to grow your business and that, and it's like, look, sometimes it has to be done. But then how can you also do that hard task that, yes, it might need to be done, but then also bring in some joy into your life, rather than just beating yourself down every single day, doing stuff that you don't actually enjoy? How can you do these little tasks day in, day out that bring some enjoyment into your life? So I really just, like, and also the task of, like, doing new things as well is one thing that I feel like a lot of us probably, once we start getting into our adult life, I get stuck in a structure of, oh, this is what I do and this is what I do with my time. And on last week's podcast, I know me and Jimmy spoke about, like, what were your 3 words that you'd tell your younger self? And mine was do more first. And when for me, I look back at that and it's like, all right, do more things for the first time. And this year we've started doing jiu-jitsu. Like I said, I've just brought a mountain bike yesterday, so I'm doing more mountain biking. I brought a Frisbee at the start of the year. I brought a Rubik's Cube the other day. And I'm just doing all these things that I used to do when I was a kid. But they're also, like, I haven't done these stuff for the first time. And I've actually never done a Rubik's Cube. I'd really never thrown a Frisbee. I've never done downhill mountain biking, never done jiu-jitsu. Like, never shot a pistol for the first time this year. And I'm just doing all these stuff for the first time. And it's very daunting. Like, even going to, I went to public speaking for the first time this year. And it's a very daunting thing to do, but I get so much out of it when I walk away from these sort of practices. And I know sometimes you go there and it doesn't actually work out. And that's fine, because at least you know. But if you always had this idea of, oh, I'm Lane and I'm a rugby league player and that's what I'm going to do, that's a life that I lived in for a long time. And now I'm always like, I'm Lane and I'd like trying new things. And these are my hobbies that I really enjoy doing, that just like my running, and jiu-jitsu is one of those hobbies now that I really enjoy doing. So I do that like 3 to 4 times a week, and I like getting in the gym, and it's just one of those things that I try the new things around my current life. So when all you do is these new experiences, you start to build that lifestyle that you actually want to do, like, and you never know what's going to pop up in front of you. So I hope this inspires you guys to actually go and do some more new firsts, go and build that lifestyle to bring that happiness back into your life day by day. And it's not one of those things where you just go from one day to the next and your whole life's happy again. I think it's little things that day by day you just change these little habits and try and put yourself out there. Just really just go and do stuff that really makes you uncomfortable or happy. And then you're just going to slowly build in this little life that really brings you a lot of joy. And you look back in a year's time and go, oh, wow, I really wasn't happy back then, but now I'm doing all these little bits and bobs that I find so much joy in. Now I really love my life. Because for you guys, I really want to, like, bring a life of happiness, and I think you all deserve it so much. So I'm jumping on here to try and inspire you guys to go and live that life of happiness for you guys, but you've got to go out there and do the little bits and pieces to really bring that happiness home. So I hope that helps, guys. I love yous lots and have a great rest of your week.